in this jungle. You die in this jungle.
The story behind the Far Cry series is kind of strange, since the first game was developed by Crytek, the second, the sequel, developed by Ubisoft themselves, and it's completely own game, and now there's a third game also developed by Ubisoft, and also I think it's completely own game, right?
Yeah, completely separate story, nothing to do with the first two.
Okay, so where does it start?
It starts with a skydive. You are basically a spoiled rich kid who's out skydiving with his friends somewhere in the Pacific Rim, and apparently you picked the wrong island to skydive onto because the moment you land, you're seized upon by crazy pirates who kidnap all of you and are planning to sell you as slaves. And you break out as the only guy, and you sort of run into this dude who's part of a warrior tribe, and he sort of offers to take you under his wing and teach you in the ways of the Rakayat, so you can become a proper warrior and free all your friends and get revenge on the guy who killed your brother because he killed your brother in his lore.
So I know it's a first-person shooter,
yes.
and as I mentioned before, between the first and the second game, a lot happened.
Yeah.
Not the least that it became an open world.
Mm-hmm.
The third game is also an open world?
Third game is a great big open world. And it sort of mixes the open worldness from the second game with the sort of linear stories from the first game. So whenever you're on a story-related mission, the game sort of, shrinks, I guess, puts up some walls around you maybe, and then you're led on a fairly linear path. Whereas when you're not on a mission, you're free to roam the island as you please and pick up side missions or go hunting or, do whatever. There's tons of stuff to do pretty much. For instance, littered throughout the island are these radio towers. On top of each tower is a jammer, and as long as that's active, your map just shows static in that area. So you pick a tower, climb up, remove the jammer, and then suddenly you can see icons representing, oh, there's some hidden treasure, there's a drop mission, there's, sights to be seen, and then also you find these pirate camps, outposts, that if you clear them, kill all the pirates, it becomes a Rakayat outpost, and then you can use that as fast travel, as safe house, and that opens up even more side missions, like going killing in pirates or going hunting and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that was one of the huge problems I had with
the sequel. Far Cry 2 had these checkpoints. Placed pretty much on every intersection on the great big road network that you had to fight through pretty much every time you got there, and that got boring fast.
And the fast travel system sucked.
Yeah,
but it doesn't in the third one?
Not the case here, no. Once you clear an outpost, it's clear, and it also clears the surrounding area of pirates, so you can actually push back pirate activity as you're fighting through the game. And then fast traveling is just a matter of opening the map, picking the outpost you want to go to, and then just double clicking, and boom, you're there.
Okay. So that's more or less the first-person shooter of the game, but it is a lot more, isn't it? It's also kind of role-playing-esque, or role-play inspired, and also there's some really strange characters in here.
Some really strange characters. You level up as you play, or you get XP for completing quests and killing enemies and hunting animals and whatever. And so as you gain levels, you unlock these, there's a skill tree, 3 different branches where you unlock new abilities like being able to reload faster, or swimming faster, or running while crouched, or being more silent, or doing takedowns from above, or takedowns from below, or double takedowns, and I like takedowns. So as you progress through the game, you get more and more powerful. There are a couple of there are some hard locks on the game, so it keeps your progress in check until you reach a certain point in the story, and then it just opens up, a new part of the skill tree that then you're free to put points in as you will. And strange characters, yes. The pirates are led by this guy called Vas, who is insane. Mind-blowingly insane. He is literally off his rocker. But he's not the only crazy character. Pretty much every guy you run into who has some significance to the story is at least a little bit unhinged, or that's they scale from being unhinged to complete sadistic assholes that are only out to kill you or hurt you. The performances are spectacularly good. We've all seen Vas in the trailers, of course. Have I ever told you the definition of insanity? Pretty much, he's the star of the game, but pretty much everyone else is up to that level.
Okay.
And the performance capture, the animation, all that stuff is just so amazingly well done that you are completely engrossed in the story as you're playing it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is it actually a good story, or is it more that the performance of the digital actors are so good?
It's a very good story. It's a very believable story, and you feel invested in it because the characters deliver such a great performance. You know, you begin feeling a bond with the guys you're rescuing, your friends, and you really begin to hate or fear Vas, and there's another leader as well. And so, you know, you're building up to this final confrontation all the way, and when you finally get there, you really want to rip this guy's guts out. So they've done a really amazing job on the storytelling, I feel.
So how big is the game? Because you kind of hinted that you had completed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's big, depending on how much effort you spend on the side stuff, of course. I think I've spent something like 20 hours on it.
Okay.
The in-game statistic says 13-ish, and that includes the last 4 or 5 hours I was playing. I just went straight for story mode because I wanted to finish it in time for the review. So I skipped most of the side stuff that I would have been doing otherwise. I mean, if you play at your own leisure and you do all the side stuff, which is really fun, most of it, there's a good 20 hours to get out of this.
And what do you get from the bonus missions? Just XP or?
XP, and you know, you push back the pirates, meaning you have an easier time just traveling around. And when you go hunting, you skin animals, and you can use that to craft bigger bags, bigger gun holsters, meaning you can hold more guns, more ammo, stuff like that. So there's a point to doing all that stuff. When I finished it, I had done like 40% of the total amount of stuff in the game. So, you know, if you want 100% this game, it's like 30 to 40 hours probably.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, really good for a shooter in 2012.
Yeah, and it's also got co-op besides the single player, right?
There's a dedicated co-op campaign with 6 missions, each lasting about an hour. Unlike single player, there's no free roam or hunting or anything. This is just pretty much basic all-out action. Yep. With a few intermezzos like sniping challenges or racing challenges, stuff like that. But otherwise, it's, you know, straight shooting. Okay. Works really well though. And the same goes for the shooting in the single player. All the encounters or the locations where you fight people are really well designed, and the AI is sophisticated enough that it's really fun to fight. Okay. Because, you know, you're trying to outrun them, outsmart them, outflank them, make it so they don't know where you are, where you're striking from. So you're constantly moving around, being mobile, stuff like that. And it just makes for a really cool experience. Okay. It's not that long. 6 hours is a pretty decent length. I played through some of the missions twice, and they were still fun the second time around, so that's a good sign. So yeah, co-op, pretty cool. So it pretty much sounds like Ubisoft finally nailed it with the Far Cry series. Absolutely. I think this is, you know, as a straight shooter, for me, this is the best shooter out this year. Totally. It really, Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, whatever, doesn't hold a candle to this at all. Everything from the gun mechanics to the great big world to the storytelling to the linear missions, all that. It's just so spot on. Player.
You see, mate, we're not the savages. We are the shepherds.